What's poppin', Savvy Investors? It's your Savvy Investor Dex here, back with another banger. And I know I've been gone for a while, guys, but I've been kind of lining up other parts of the business. I've been getting the mobile home thing back going. I've been kind of focusing a little bit more on my pre-foreclosures. Not that I've left the overages. Still got the overages working in the background. It's just we had to get our business verified and our phone number verified. Because all of our calls were going to spam, like everything. Brand new numbers we literally just paid for will go to spam. So we had to kind of fix that issue within the overage business. But it looks like we kind of got that resolved and we'll be back to rolling. Anyway, I wanted to make this video real quick to answer a question from one of the subscribers. So they commented under a video that I will link in the description. If you hadn't saw the video, it's probably one of my more famous videos, if you will. But he asked a question. He said, well, let me tell you guys which video it is. Claimants won't sign your contracts in surplus funds. Here's why. Okay, so what he asked me was, he said, hey, could you explain more in depth how I'm sorry, I went off the page. Could you explain more in depth how one should go about setting up their team when trying to scale? Research team, legal team, and locator team. I currently work with a private investigator and have a team of callers. Haven't been able to find a lawyer yet. Okay, so starting with the first thing, you said help one set up a team. Alright, so the first part of setting up a team is you got to know how to do all of the stuff that your team does. Like unlike, I'm not even going to say unlike a football team. Like football team have many different coaches for many different positions. And I would assume a fair amount of those coaches came from a background with that position. So I'm saying that to say you kind of want to understand all the ebbs and flows of the deal, of the business. You definitely want to get a relationship with an attorney. But the first thing I would do is, if you've done your own deals, let's just say you've done, I like to tell people do a minimum of 10 deals before you get to hiring people. And you know, trying to locate a team and all that. But assuming you've done deals, which I don't think you've done deals because you said you don't have an attorney, unless you've only been doing state funds. So, I'm glad I said that. Let me kind of break it up for you. This is going to be regarding everything but state funds, right? I hadn't worked state funds. I would probably build my business a little different if I did work state funds. But anyway, so if you're working if you're working tax overages, mortgage overages, expropriations, eminent domain, succession cases, all this stuff that involves money being in the courts, I would say you probably want to get a solid caller. You want to get somebody that's knowledgeable. You want to get somebody that's strong on the phone, or you want to figure out how to train somebody to be strong on the phone. I say that because you could do the research part. You could research the leads and vet the leads and make sure that they don't have crazy liens against them, or if they do have liens, how to deal with them. You will know that it's a good lead. Now as you get bigger, maybe it gets a little harder to be so nuanced, but that's when you get to add researchers. But first thing first, I would start with somebody that can actually make the calls and get through a call and set the appointments up, if not close it for you. If I could turn back in my business, that's what I would do. I focused on locators first, which isn't bad. That was gonna be the next thing I say focus on. I focused on partnering with people that, you know, that just didn't mind making extra 5-10% on whatever I make, just for locating somebody. All you gotta do is find them and put me on the phone with them. So that's where I focus. But like I said, hindsight, I would probably get somebody that can make the phone calls, get through a call, set appointments. Okay, next, locators. I would focus on getting locators. People that will not be working hourly, but they will work with you more so on a partnership type agreement, or maybe even a contractor style agreement. So if you have a case that's $100,000, John Smith, they put you on the phone with John Smith. You get an agreement with John Smith for 30%. 2 months down the line, you get the checks. You get your $30,000. You pay your locator 5 to 10% of that. That's what I do. So 10%, that would be $3 grand. 5% would be $1,500. The whole point is, all he or she had to do was locate somebody and put you on the phone with them. They didn't have to do the heavy lifting as far as the research, closing the deal, dealing with the attorneys, going to the clerk's office, trying to file stuff, trying to get death certificates, birth certificates. They didn't have to deal with all of that stuff. And I think that 5 or 10% is super duper fair because most people don't pay that. So what was the next thing you wanted to know? Oh, legal team. Oh no, I'm skipping one. Research team. This is probably the last thing that I would outsource. And this was actually the second thing that I outsourced in my business. I would probably outsource research last because research changes depending on what market that you're in. So I wouldn't want to hand over those responsibilities to somebody when I hadn't done enough markets or researched enough markets myself, being the owner of the company. So I've only researched like thoroughly probably 5 markets, which is enough to totally work. But that's over time. When I first got started, the researcher could only work the places that I knew how to work. So it kind of, you hit a cap real fast depending on where you at and how the lead flow is. But in the market I'm in, you can hit a cap if you're only working this market. Now, once I expanded markets, and when I say markets, I mean other states, not other counties, other states. Within my state, I probably work, I don't know, 6 counties, 7 counties consistently, or parishes consistently. But on a state side, I mean state to state side, that's when I needed to understand the nuances in certain laws and the small affidavit of succession laws change. All type of stuff change, right? I think here in Louisiana, it's actually going up to 150 or 175 grand. It's currently at 125, but it's going up to like 175 in regards to the amount that can be claimed in a small succession. The amount or the value of a small succession. If it's more than that, then you have to do a regular succession, which means you have to find a lot of people or find everybody that's involved. You got to get signatures. They got to come to the attorney office. Sometimes you got to get like affidavits and stuff. It just can get real crazy with the succession. Last, your legal team. I had an attorney before I started. Like, I knew the attorney that I was going to use in this business, and that was based on the relationship I had with my mentor. The $40,000 that I spent for my mentorship, that kind of catapulted me where I'm at today. I will link that video in the description as well. But I had an attorney, and after I got that attorney, about a year and a half later, one of my first students, he actually introduced me to another attorney, and now I have 2 attorneys that I work with here locally. The whole point is, you want to establish an attorney, especially when you're jumping into other states. Even states that say you don't need it. Like, get an attorney. Trust me, it will suit you in the long run. Now, don't let an attorney turn you upside down like a bully and empty your pockets. They'll do that. You want to do reasonable numbers. I pay one attorney $750, and that's strictly for him drawing up the motion. Depending on how they cut the check, or depending on how we draw the motion up, depends on how they cut the check. But let's say he draws the motion up and we get the check with the claimant's name on it. Now I go to another attorney and he puts it in his trust account. For whatever reason, the attorney that draws the motions up doesn't want to put it in his trust account. Totally fine, just draw the motions up. But now my second attorney, he draws the motions up and puts them in his trust account, and it's cheaper. So you can shop around for attorneys. It's cheaper dealing with the guy I deal with now, because he busts the check down for me and the clients, and also he draws the motions up. And a lot of times I don't even need the check bust down because we have a check cut to us by the court, and the claimants have a check cut to them, obviously. So I hope I answered your question, bro. Like I said, I've been gone. I got a lot of stuff in my brain I'm bringing to y'all. I got a marketing series I'm putting together. We'll be actually shooting a little bit more of that today. Throwing up bandit signs, showing y'all the real guerrilla style marketing that go on behind the scenes. But anyway, I appreciate y'all for tuning in, man. We hit 500 subs. I'm so geeked. I've been like I said, going through all type of stuff between business, family, new dad, all that type of stuff. But I'm super geeked about these 500 plus subs, and I hadn't even been uploading. Like, y'all some goats out there. I appreciate it. And I got more value to bring to y'all. Y'all be cool. It's your Savvy Investor Dex, and I'm out.